You heard it? You heard it, heard
heard
it? You heard it in this?
Yeah.
Two guys talking about wearing
I can. Nobody can see me right now doing all the awesome.
Welcome back to the Pantless podcast. Here's your host, Austin and Travis. Take it away, guys. Hey,
Hey.
Austin's doing things behind the scenes again.
We did it. You can't see it.
I can't see it.
Just know when that song's going, I'm doing like the coolest stuff. Like the stuff that if people could see me, I would be a legend.
He's defining cancel culture right over there.
What?
What?
I'm defining it?
Yeah. So I guess we offended some people last week. I'm excited.
All because you don't know the difference between somebody who speaks Spanish and a Spaniard. That's just it's not okay. It's not okay.
I had to think of what he was talking about, to be honest with you, when he made that comment, and I went, Did I? Did I?
Do you do it so much like you don't even realize you do it? Is that what the? Because I do immediately. I'm like, oh yeah, like I can still feel that.
Can we go after the Canadians this week? So what'd you eat this week?
You're a Canadian.
I am not Canadian.
Well, they speak English and you do, so apparently
not
you're
all
Canadian,
of them.
according to your level. That's true. Some speak French.
Yeah, and they don't like the ones that speak English. What'd you eat this week?
You know, food-wise, I'm trying to think. I had some potatoes au gratin. Love it. With some
your
ham
potatoes
and broccoli.
were rotten? What?
They were fancy and delicious.
Oh, rotten tomatoes are
Oh, I
potatoes.
hate rotten tomatoes.
I know.
You can't even trust them anymore. Good thing we use Metacritic.
What did I have this week?
What did you have? I haven't seen you again.
I mean, that's your
Because
fault.
you are still dying, apparently. But tomorrow you're going to be healthy, right? Officially healthy tomorrow.
Yeah, officially healthy tomorrow, even though I just actually jacked my back up working in the yard yet today. But that's...
Well, can you go get a full release before you come back to work,
Nope,
sir?
Cannot. My mom made us chicken and dumplings, homemade chicken and dumplings, earlier in the week, and my goodness. And then went out to lunch with my mom to a little place called Shoutin' Sack in Veneta. It's a gas station in Veneta. If you don't know about it, you don't know about it. They do fish fry on Friday. They do serve food. They have like normal gas station like stuff, but they also
you
have
get like pizza pockets and Crispitos and all that.
Yeah, they have all that, but they also do like box
crap.
meals like sandwiches and burritos. And on Friday they do their fish fry. And they do, had their spicy catfish.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
And they're freaking massive breaded catfish.
That's
fillet.
at least 8 inches.
They're freaking huge. Yeah, that was my lunch today. They weren't that spicy. I'm like, I'm hoping that these are going to light me up and I'm going to be miserable today.
Right?
You could have got those for me and told me they were normal catfish, and I did not even realize they were spicy.
Oh. But still, I mean...
But my dad took...
They had flavor, right? It was flavor.
Oh, they were delicious.
Okay. Yeah.
It was amazing, but I was slightly disappointed that it just wasn't absolutely like face-melting spicy. Because normally when you get something spicy from a gas station, they don't hold back.
Right. Right.
Because they don't want you to come back.
We want to hand you this wooden plank with a key on it to use our restroom for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And like I didn't eat all of it. My mom brought what she didn't eat and what I didn't eat back. My dad finished off that half piece of spicy and was like, "Oh, that's got a little bit of heat to it." I'm like, I guess I'm just not. I guess I'm desensitized to it. I guess.
COVID. That COVID's ruined your taste buds.
I've never had it.
That's not what I hear.
But you heard wrong. I can tell you directly from the source, I've never had it. I can't find it. I think it's fake. So, Hey, did you hear the interesting news out of the NFL this week? About
Maybe what is it? What do you got?
Tom Brady is going to be gone for the next. I don't think he's coming back till a couple days before the regular season starts.
Okay, who cares?
I guess
He's gonna miss some preseason
all
games.
of the rest of preseason. He will not play a single down in preseason because he's going to be. I guess he had some obligation with his wife and kids, like back when he was retired, for like that week. Like they had a vacation planned. So I guess when he came back, he's like, "Hey, I still have to go do this. I'm gonna miss preseason." And I guess the coach was like, "Yeah, that's cool as long as you're at OTA, at OTAs and all that." And he, yeah, starting I think yesterday or today, he will not be back until like a couple days before the regular season starts, which is hilarious. Keeping with NFL news, I read a little excerpt on Twitter about Antonio Brown that made me laugh. He stated that his biggest regret is that he never got to watch himself play live football.
That is such an Antonio Brown thing to say. Oh my gosh.
He said to count yourself, as in the fans, lucky that we got to do something that he will never get to do because he's not in the NFL anymore, and that's watch him live. He said he can watch himself on tape, but that's not the same as getting to watch Antonio Brown live on TV, and he will never get the chance to do that.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
And you think I'm joking? I didn't even.
No, I don't. I believe you.
This sounds like an Onion news article, but I read it off Twitter, and you don't understand how many people are laughing at this guy. It is hilarious.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it.
So
I love it. I have a thing in my heart for people whose names are A. Brown. I don't know why. There's just something about it. And
I only know of one.
I have a love and appreciation.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Are you sad that you'll never get to watch yourself play live on TV in the NFL? Do you have the same regret?
Yeah, a little bit. I'll never get to see myself play live in the NFL.
Yeah, that's it.
So, NFL, Super Bowl. I've got some breaking news. Do we want to hit this up?
Hey,
you want to cue it?
I mean, let's do it.
Pop now. So, Super Bowl. Now, we all know Jack Harlow, right? Like, the hottest, like, rapper in the game today. He's saying some songs like First Class.
I don't know who you're talking about.
He's also saying, already got rid of it. He's saying other stuff, but he's a big deal.
I'll take your word for it.
He is manifesting a Super Bowl show with him and Andre 3000 from The Outkast.
When you say manifesting, does that mean it's in his head?
It's in his head. He wants it to be a thing, and he's speaking it into existence. Apparently, he's done this before with like Drake and Lil Wayne or something, and it's worked. Or Lil Nas X. I don't know. A little something. It was a little guy.
Easy.
A little guy, and Drake, a little guy. Justin Timberlake.
You sure it wasn't Little Sweet?
It could have been.
Little Sweet. Sorry.
First Class.
Not sponsored.
Yet.
You'll just see him dancing across the screen.
I got some George Remus from trying out. But anyway, so yeah, Jack Harlow. Look for him and Andre 3000 in a Super Bowl in the future because he said it.
Super Bowl's in Vegas this year, isn't it?
I don't know.
Isn't it?
Not this year.
I thought it was
maybe next year, in like January or February. You get it? You get it because the Super Bowl's in February. We've already had the Super Bowl in February. get it.
No, I
The
didn't.
Rams.
I didn't.
The Rams won the Super Bowl this year. It's the Super Bowl this year. It's already over.
Austin. Arizona is where they're going to be.
Oh.
And then Vegas is the year after.
Okay. Well,
No,
maybe we'll see Jack Harlow
sir.
and Andre 3000 in Vegas in 2024.
Sir, Arizona puts on amazing Super Bowls. Arizona.
When we have 2024, when we have another Cowboys Colt, a rematch of the 2023 Super Bowl of Cowboys Colts, that's when we'll see Jack Harlow and Andre 3000. It's the halftime show.
Oh. You know one thing I can guarantee about this upcoming Super Bowl in Arizona for a season that hasn't even started? The host team won't be playing in that Super Bowl.
Oh, snap. Shots fired. Shots. It's not the Cowboys representing the NFC, I hope it's the Cardinals.
Will it be sad that this will be the first time in 2 years that the host team won't win a Super Bowl?
Will that be sad?
Is it crazy that it hadn't happened in almost ever? In 50 years of Super Bowl, a host team had never won the Super Bowl, and it happened 2 years in a row.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
Breaking. No, I'm just joking.
Breaking news. We just learned this.
Like, I'm surprised that they didn't change and be like, we need to break the cycle of host teams winning Super Bowls, and Jerry, we need to put the Super Bowl in Dallas so that we don't have another host team ever win a Super Bowl.
Oh, you're hilarious. Hilarious.
They're like, next best thing, we'll put it in Arizona.
Where could you put it that you can guarantee the host team doesn't? Who is going to be in last place this year?
Well, it'd have to go to New York or Jacksonville or who else is gonna be really bad? Detroit. No, they're gonna be good this year, but they got that.
Detroit's gonna be good.
Detroit's gonna be scary good. I heard Hard Knocks is knocking it out of the water.
Okay.
Well, Hard Knocks. Do you ever watch Hard Knocks?
No.
I
don't. Do they?
They're in Detroit this season. They were in Indianapolis last season.
You know who I predict? My prediction. I think
Atlanta. Who's not making Super Bowl?
Atlanta is going to be in dead last this year.
I did forget about Atlanta. They look pretty bad.
I think they're going to be dead last. Can we cue this up? Hit it right here. Let's put it. Speaking of queuing it up, hitting it right here. You have for 2 weeks in a row said you're going to put our Switch friend codes in the comment section, and
I do suck at life.
2 weeks in a row, that hasn't happened.
Yeah, I do suck at life.
People will not be able to play with us in Pokemon or Ninja Turtles or anything like that if they don't know us.
If they followed us on Twitter, I did tweet that out a couple weeks ago. At Pantless Pod 1.
Right, which I'm sure. I'm sure they've already figured that out. They're watching it now. Adding us.
Speaking of Nintendo Switch, did you hear about the game that's coming out? I don't want to pull it up on the Switch right now and break my internet. I think a game coming out on the 17th that we need to get and try out. Yeah, it's coming out. That's a Saturday. That doesn't sound right. No, I'm on September. Hold on.
Oh god.
Still didn't look right. That new Kirby game comes out.
Oh, okay. That kind of 3-dimensional-ish Kirby game.
They're saying it's a lot like Fall Guys meets something else.
Okay.
What was the name of that game? But it's only a $15 game. It's a It's a 4-player multiplayer. Kirby's Dream Buffet.
That's not what I was thinking. Kirby. I haven't heard of this game.
Yeah, it comes out 8/17. If you can see that. The new Kirby's Dream Buffet.
Yeah.
It's a 4-player. You can either do local co-op, not co-op, but I think you can do local 4-player. You can do online 4-player, and it's almost like everybody plays as a different colored Kirby,
Okay.
and you race to a finish line, and you're eating like fruits and stuff, and you get different powers, and you're trying to get to the finish with the highest score, not like falling off the map or
Okay. So it's not like a Kirby game.
no.
It's okay. Ah, then I'm gonna have to. I don't
You
know.
can look it up. Look it up.
I'll look it up. I'll
Look
look
it
it
up.
up. Look it up. We'll all look it up. Look it up.
So
Put a link in the description.
probably not, but it's on the eShop. It's a digital only. It's $15. If you got a Switch, just go. The way I found it was just go to the eShop, go to the featured, and it's up for pre-order right now.
Okay. Speaking of pre-order, have you heard? I saw that there was that They announced the pre-order bonus for Scarlet and Violet being that Pikachu with the balloons, but then they also said that it's. Is it one of those things where it's not really a pre-order? Like, as long as you buy it day one, you'll be able to access it.
I don't.
Because it said, oh, you could also get it. It's not just digital. You can get like the hard copy. And I'm like, well, can you get hard copies from Nintendo, or is this just a pre-order bonus that every distributor is offering? And I'll go to Walmart and pre-order it, and they'll give me a code.
I honestly do not know.
Because I'm kind of confused about that. Because I don't really. I had a bad experience with some digital games when I had a 3DS with data corruption and all that crap.
I've never dealt with that on the Switch. I've had because
I haven't dealt with it on the Switch, but I'm just really hesitant to get like every now and then certain games I will buy digitally. I'm like, okay, that makes sense to have digital, but Pokemon, I'm just terrified of having a digital Pokemon because I'm like, well, what if something happens? And now I don't have it.
I know the Switch is real good. That because I have a few games that I realize I don't have Unite on my Switch right now, which I forgot I've been busy the last few days. I haven't been getting my free Pokemons and Unite, but for the 1 year. But I realized I didn't have Unite on my Switch anymore. But that's a bad example because it's a free game anyway. But if you buy a game off the eShop and like delete it off your system, you just re-download it for free. You don't have to buy it again.
Right.
And if anything corrupts, you just, uninstall and reinstall it. And some games are cloud backup, which I actually started playing Sword the other day. Started a new.
Ooh, didn't I see that? I've got to check that out. I think I saw that Victini is coming to Sword or something like that.
Really,
right?
I hadn't heard.
Oh man, I've got to look that up.
I saw
a blurb on my phone about that.
I saw on Twitter, Sarahby.net was advertising Victini, but I thought that was for Cafe Remix, so I ignored it. So, I don't know.
Victini and Sinistea are coming to Sword and Shield because of the Pokemon World Championships.
I thought Sinistea was... Which one is that one? I thought that was one that was already in Sword and Shield.
Is it only if you're attending the Pokemon World Championships? Oh, it is. If you want them, you have to go to the Pokemon World Championships, and attendees will receive them. Oh wait, but if you're not attending the World Championships, online viewers will be able to receive the Victory Pokemon Victini by catching the live stream and redeeming a password that will be revealed during the broadcast from August 18th to the 21st. I'm sure that password will be leaked, but The password can be redeemed until August 21st, 2022. Interesting.
Okay, so yeah, I'm reading here that the code is only good until whatever. Looks like the 21st at 5 o'clock PDT, which I don't even know what that is.
Pacific Daylight Savings Time or something.
So, yeah, I'll keep an eye out on that's.
Pay attention because the 18th
That's
is
next Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. So
I'll keep an eye out because I get there's a couple YouTubers that I watch that are real good at leaking that stuff, and I guarantee Austin John Plays may toss that out, and if it's out,
you would hope that Sarahby.net will toss it out too.
Sarahby.net's pretty good about it.
That's their shtick.
Oh, somebody's gonna leak it out.
Somebody will. And they will let you know, but by the time you see us or hear us, it'll be too late to redeem it.
Well, we
will tweet it. How about that?
I will forward some tweets, and I will tweet
Travis
something.
promises to put that out on our Twitter. So follow us.
I am
at the Pantless
so glad
Pod
that you put me toward promises. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh gosh,
Setting me up to fail, sir.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like the Kobe, and you're my Shaq.
I'm trying to figure out what's special about the S9E4.
It has a moo milk and has a special move that it only knows through, like, whatever, through that distribution.
So it looks like you can only get the Victini through the live stream. So like this S9E4 won't be given out unless you're live there.
Yeah, like they'll probably be like passing out cards to everybody in attendance. But we should all be able to get the Victini because there's no way that they can live stream a unique code to everyone. That's got to be.
It says look for signs at the Pokemon World Championships for distribution times and instructions on how to receive S9E4. If you're not, then it says if you're not attending, so there may be some people. I don't know if everybody will get specific codes for S9E4, or if someone who's there may leak. If it's like a specific, like if it's just everybody puts in the same code, like all the Pikachus they were giving out. Somebody might tweet out, "Hey, this is the code for the S9E4 for the world." So I'll keep an eye out on that too. Austin will tweet that one out.
Okay. You suck.
And if you don't see it from our account ever, know that it was Austin's fault that you didn't get it.
You know whose fault it really was? It was Gert's fault.
100%.
It was 100% Gert's fault because he did not tweet it out. So.
Looks like he. I was trying to get him here again, and I messaged him before we started.
He's too big time for us.
He is.
Like, I don't get it. Like
grass.
He was on our show one time, got way too popular, got a big head, and he's just like, I'm not going to do this show anymore.
What do you think? Me. What do you think about his comments in our group messaging this week about listening to us while he works just to have noise in his ear?
Approve. I think everybody should listen to us while they work just to have noise in their ears. I am 100% approving of that method. You could put us on repeat, and we've got, we run for about an hour, and we've got 80 something episodes. So yeah, that's like 2 weeks worth of work. Just put us in your ear. We'll give you 2 weeks worth of entertainment. And then once you're done, you can listen to us again. It'll be all brand new. You'll forget what happened in episode 1, season 1. I don't even know what we talked about in season 1, episode 1.
I have no idea, and I'm not going back to watch it.
Right? I kind of want to, but by the time we finish this show, I'll forget, and it won't happen.
100%. I've actually got too much I got to do by the time we're done with this.
Yeah.
Did we watch a movie?
Retro movie.
We did.
I barely watched the movie. It was a rough one.
Just caught it.
I almost didn't watch this week's movie.
This was my first time seeing this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I have to say I've learned a couple things.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a fan of submarine movies. It's not my genre.
We can no longer be friends.
It's not my genre.
Submarine movies are awesome, and I can name at least 2 that I like better than this movie.
Right, and somebody, a mutual acquaintance of ours, told me that I should watch K-19 Widowmaker.
Ooh, okay, so I know of 3 more that I like better than this one. I forgot about K-19. That's a fantastic movie.
I thought that was a movie about climbing a mountain.
What?
But K-19 Widowmaker, and he's like, no, it's a submarine movie. He's like, so he said, if you like The Hunt for Red October, he said, then you'll like that one.
U-571's the other one.
Either.
That's another good one.
This one was just it was really pretty slow in my opinion. It just took a long time to get from like point A to point B.
It did. It was not an action or a fast movie. But
yeah,
how many freaking 80s and 90s actors were in this movie?
Yeah, there was a lot.
Oh my gosh, and how young did Tim Curry look? My goodness.
Alec Baldwin. Yeah, Tim Curry too.
Tim Curry. Yeah. Well, Alec Baldwin, that guy.
He was like a baby in that movie.
He was, but Tim Curry looked amazing in this movie. Like, I love that guy. He's like one of my top favorite actors,
And I was really hoping when they started out, like I said, this is my first time. I've never seen it before, but when they started out and Sean Connery and
Sam Neill,
they were like speaking in Russian. Mm-hmm. I was like, they're going to be talking in Russian. So I was totally expecting.
I was so happy when it transitioned over to English.
Yeah, that went through me. Like when they did that, I was like, okay. But I was really hoping that I was going to get a Scottish actor speaking, like when he was talking to like Alec Baldwin, like he was going to be speaking English in a Russian accent. And I'm like, I am excited to hear how this is going to sound. But then they did that like within the first 10 minutes of the movie, they did that like, woo, woo, woo. Like that was weird. It was like, oh, now we're breaking through the veil and you understand Russian now. That was weird.
Yeah. They actually explained he's actually not Russian. His character is actually not Russian.
That's true.
His character was somewhere, but he still not Scottish. They didn't. But I'd forgotten that him and Sam Neill played the Russian characters. It's been so long since I had seen it that I kind of had forgot most of the movie.
Right, and Tim Curry.
Yeah, Curry.
They were all Russian.
Yep. I can't remember the guy. There's a couple of the guys that played Americans that I recognized from other stuff. James Earl Jones was in this movie.
James Earl Jones, and it was so weird. Like he's such a big actor, but it was just a really small role.
But an important role. He played.
He was the admiral, like the head honcho of the Navy or something. Like he was.
I liked it when he pushed that button to detonate the warhead, and he's like, "Wait, did it hit?" He's like, "In your report, it hit, and I was never here." And showed him his ID.
Did he show it? Was that what it was? It was his ID.
Showed him like some top level clearance ID and said that, identified himself just to say I was never here.
Right.
That's weird.
I wasn't here. You see my identification that shows that I wasn't here?
Yeah. You totally could ID me, but I wasn't here. No, talking about other. Have you seen Down Periscope?
Like, so I don't think I've ever seen it. This is my first submarine movie.
So Down Periscope, watching this movie, I realized that the movie Down Periscope was a comedic parody of this movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
With Kelsey Grammer. Frasier? The guy that played Frasier?
Yeah, I know who Kelsey. Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm just saying I've never seen it. Never seen it.
We need to find that movie. That could be almost be the next one we watched. Because if you've never seen it, that one.
But would I need to watch some other submarine movies? Because I just haven't seen them.
No.
I haven't.
I think if we watch. I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I didn't. It was okay. Like, I can see why people liked it. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit faster paced action, and it was really like it was that you could definitely tell the target audience was the Tom Clancy fans or the like submarine genre fans. Like, that was what it was, who it was really targeted towards. And I'm neither of those. Like, I've never read a Tom Clancy novel. I've never played Rainbow Six.
Yeah, see, I don't
know.
I'm with you. I'm not a big Tom Clancy fan either. I've never been a fan. I like submarine movies.
Yeah,
I'm the complete opposite of you. I love submarine movies.
Maybe there could be maybe I should watch K-19 and see if that's a good one. See if, I appreciate it more. I love Sean Connery. Like, you would think that would be enough for me. Like, oh yeah, this was good, because Sean Connery is up there, top 5 in my book. Like, I love Sean Connery movies. Even movies where he's like a secondary actor. I'm like, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think you would like the other one. It's Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson.
Harrison. See, there you go. Harrison Ford. Him and Sean Connery are like right there. Like, dude, yes. Harrison Ford, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
If I could hashtag anything, or if I could ship 2 male actors, that would be it.
Yeah.
Does that sound weird? Hashtag Connery Ford. There you go.
That did completely 100% sound weird.
I'm willing to give it another shot. I want to talk about the graphics real quick.
Okay.
A lot of the special effects were... This movie was a 1990 movie? And I thought the special effects for a 90s movie were, like, advanced.
In 90, yeah.
But at the same... There was that scene when they were dropping Alec Baldwin onto the submarine.
Yeah. That
didn't look like special... That looked freaking legit.
Like they seriously dropped him out of a helicopter during a storm into the water?
Yes. That's what it looked like, because I'm like, you could tell special effects, and that looked like they were dropping a human being out of a helicopter onto a submarine in the ocean. I couldn't see, and I watched it twice. I went back and I rewatched that scene again, because I'm like, this is crazy. Like, that's where my mind went. I'm like, are they doing this for real? Like, what's going on here?
Probably did.
And I couldn't see CGI. It was crazy.
It may have been a controlled, like they may have been like not in the middle of the ocean. It may have been like, because you see him drop into the water, and they call for the diver to go get him, but then they don't actually show the diver. They just show him in the boat.
Right.
So they could have had that as a setup in like out like in the Gulf or something, with an actual submarine there, and they had the helicopter, and they were faking in rain.
I guess it was just that scene was my favorite scene, just because of how real it was. I was like, that was crazy.
I can't argue with that one. Can we argue with Metacritic?
Probably.
All right.
So I don't know like where they're going to be with this because, like I said, I've learned that I'm not a huge submarine genre fan.
Okay.
But there are so many A-list actors that I'm like, the critics had to have something, and it was drama. It was USA versus USSR.
Yeah, it was old Soviet.
I'm thinking that the critics
So
probably
17 critics.
Oh, just 17.
Only
Ooh.
17 critics out of 100.
I'm thinking they probably gave it at least a 73.
They did not.
Ooh.
They gave it a 58.
Wow, that's surprising.
134 users out of 10.
I'm thinking the users liked it. I'm thinking they gave it a 7.9.
You were close. 7.6.
Ah.
It's just one. It's one of those movies. It's another one of those movies we're watching where the critics give it a a 50 something, and the users give it a higher score.
Yeah, and I would like to. I've heard. I haven't seen anything, but I've heard that those things have kind of flip flopped as of late, where.
So like new movies.
Yeah, new movies like
where
the critics
are giving high.
Yeah, and then the people are like, "This movie sucks," or the people are like, "This movie's awesome," but the critics are like, "No, it's the worst movie ever made."
It's always polarizing. It's always they never agree. I don't know if you ever noticed that. The critic.
Well, it was. I remember we've had a few that were really close.
We've had a few
when they were on the upward spectrum. Like critics were like yes, and the people were like yes. We've had a couple that were close, but it is polarizing, and it seems like I'm hearing that it's like becoming more and more polarized.
Yeah. Well, because I think there's some movies coming out here recently that are well-made movies that are, on paper, good movies. So the critics are like, wow. Because the critics are just looking for... The critics don't care what really the content is. They just want a good movie, like well-made, well-acted, well-written. But then the users are like, well, that's over, we don't like what that movie was about. There was an actor we didn't like. There were da-da-da-da-da-da. And so they just review bomb it, where the critics are, when you're, critics are paid writers, and they're watching the movie for different reasons. So, I think that's why it's so polarizing most of the time. So we had 9 positive, 6 mixed, 2 negative on the critics. Users, we had 106 positive, 14 mixed, 14 negative. The Variety, staff not credited, gave it a 90. The Industrial Light and Magic Special Visual Effects Unit does yeoman work in staging the action with cliffhanger intensity. Okay. I don't know what movie he's talking about.
Okay.
Here's the Chicago Sun-Times again. We know we like them. Gave it an 88. Yeah. A skillful, efficient film that involves U.S. in the clever and deceptive game being played by Ramus, and in the best efforts of those on both sides to figure out what he plans to do with his submarine and how he plans to do it. Okay. The Christian Science Monitor.
We've had them recently.
Gave it a 25.
Oh, God.
Like the nuclear sub it's named after, the picture is big, shiny, and expensive. It's also cold, hard, and cumbersome, and lacking in the barest hint of emotional or psychological depth.
Cold and hard. Speaking of, what's long and hard and full of semen?
Gross.
A submarine. I did like that scene where that guy was talking about going, like, he wanted to move to Montana.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, and then I'll travel, and maybe in a recreational vehicle, to another state without papers. can I do that? Sean Connery's character's like, yeah, no papers. You can do that. And he's like, wow. Then in the winter, I'm going to move to Arizona. I'll probably need another wife.
Yeah, that was hilarious. What?
And then Sean Connery's like, at least one.
Yeah, that was Sam Neill. And I had, honestly, before, this movie, I'd really only seen him in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
He's always Professor Grant to me.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time I ever saw him. I was, a young kid the first time I watched the first Jurassic Park. And I grew up watching him in Jurassic Park. And don't really remember seeing him act in other movies. I know he probably has.
I'm sure he has.
But none that I can think of. And then when I saw him in this, I'm like, that's a weird role to see him in. When's he going to start talking about dinosaurs?
Completely still.
So, what's that Common Sense Media got to say? I'm curious.
Yeah, well, we have Andrea Breach or Beach.
I think we've had this individual in the past.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So she said, I say she, whatever. She says,
I would also go with that.
Cold War submarine drama is tense and thrilling. She gives it a 4 out of 5 for 13 and older. 2 parents say 4 out of 5 for 12 and older. And 11 kids say 4 out of 5 for 12 and older. So they're all right there. They all give it 4 stars, and they're within the 12 to 13-year-old range. I would probably give it a 3-star. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie, but whatever.
It was well made. Could we admit that it was a well made movie?
It was well made. The acting was great.
The writing was a little. Could do some work.
Yeah, it was well made. Like, it wasn't a bad movie. We've definitely watched worse movies.
Could have just been.
And I think that might be my issue. Like, my expectations were higher. Like, if I was expecting something like, oh, this is going to be terrible, then I'd be like, oh, this was actually really good.
I think this is one of those movies that falls in cult following, where
maybe,
and it's just not a great movie, but it's a classic great movie because of how.
Because it was well made.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So Andrea, positive messages. What do you think she's going to give this thing?
What do you think she gives it?
Yeah, what do you think or what would you give it? Or both?
I would give it a 2.
Okay.
I don't think she gave it anything, but said words.
She gave it a 3.
What?
Right? She said studying and knowing your subject well helps you make the right decisions. When the stakes are high, the rewards are great. So you have to be willing to take chances. It was like when that captain was like, how did you know he was going to go starboard? He's like, I had a 50-50 shot. And I had to make a move. And he's like, okay, that's fair. Basically.
I think the captain went, I should shoot you right now.
Yeah, you got me. It worked out, but, oh man. Like, World War III would have happened if he would have went portside.
Yeah.
Positive role models.
I think she went with the last one and gave it a 3.
She did. She said Jack Ryan is an academic achiever who knows his subject well and is able to put his knowledge into action to good effect. He's also clever and brave. Marco Ramius is willing to risk everything and ruthlessly goes after his goals. He's also very clever but fearless. The many supporting characters all try to fulfill their duties and make the right decisions. That's fair. Yeah. I can see that. What about violence and scariness?
God, I'd almost give it... Can you give it a 1? I can explain why.
Go for it.
I don't think there's hardly any in here, but there was the at the end of the movie when they were chasing who come to find out was the cook.
Yeah.
And Sam Neill's character gets shot in the chest. Sean Connery gets shot in the shoulder. And then he did have to shoot the cook. There was some gun violence near the end. And it was kind of suspenseful and a little bit scary right there. So, but that was it. There was no other. There's some other suspenseful scenes, as in with most. If you've ever watched more submarine movies, those scenes of them giving out all those orders and all the
when the torpedo's coming and they're like, all right, we have 10 seconds, so we have to make our turn. The torpedo's 20 seconds behind us. He's like, now you've got to wait 10 seconds plus one. Plus
what I like about
plus
those
3.
What I like about those scenes and other submarine movies do it right as well is that they don't cause this one kind of showed the outside shots of the torpedo coming at you, but in a submarine you can't visually. It's not like if you're in a helicopter or a boat, you can't look out the window and see what you're looking at.
Yeah,
they can't. They're making educated guesses and off of sonar, and the movie made it, you're just hearing them talk, and other submarine movies do that, and it's like, this is suspenseful. What's gonna happen next? And like, especially when they're like, hey, we need to turn here, or we're gonna nose straight into a wall.
Yeah.
Suspenseful. I give it a 1. What'd she give it?
She gave it a 2. She said a man smashes another's head into a table.
I forgot about that scene.
Breaking his neck and killing him. Oh yeah, I did forget about that too. The very beginning of the movie. 2 gunfights, blood from gunshot wounds 2 or 3 times. A death scene is quiet and not gory. A plane crashes into an aircraft carrier.
I forgot about that scene too.
In a fiery explosion. What was that about? That was weird. Was that just
I think that was just absolutely just off the wall, random.
Yeah, I was just like, it makes no sense to the movie.
I was trying to figure.
Oh no, another thing. He just cracked.
I was trying to figure out what was going on in that scene because I was like, is this related?
Yeah.
Now they're talking about this other crap. He's on an aircraft carrier. Didn't even see. I guess I missed the fact that he's on. I thought he was on another submarine. Now he's on. I have no idea what's going on here. You guys got me all sorts of confused.
Yeah, so much randomness. But so yeah, she gave it a 2. What about sex, romance, and nudity?
0, not present.
Yeah, you would think, right? But she gave it a 1.
Did he kiss his wife at the beginning? Goodbye?
She says a minor character mentions whale humping. And there was a line reference to the Playmate of the Month.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, my Morse code is so bad, I might be giving him the dimensions of the Playmate of the Month. But then Jonesy at the beginning, when he was talking about the sonar,
yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, that's risque. Whale humping, that's a 1.
Okay. I mean, I don't agree, but let's move.
I mean, that's what happens when whales don't wear pants. Like, would you want to talk about whales wearing pants? Like, come on now. I know that was mentioned in the first episode.
Yeah. But the whales, we got to save the whales.
The whales not wearing pants.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Language.
Was it present?
She thought it was.
Did you hear anything? Did you hear it?
I don't recall specific words. I don't. It seemed like a pretty clean movie. She says hell was mentioned, the A word. The word but was mentioned.
I hate it when that happens.
Oof. GD.
Okay.
The word Jesus. The S word. Jesus. Son of a B. And take a dump was mentioned twice.
Was it? I missed it.
Take a dump. That's worth at least 1.
Where are they taking it?
Who knows?
I normally leave it.
So yeah. So with that knowledge, parents, be careful. Your kids might hear people say but or take a dump. So products and purchases?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Not present, not clickable.
Okay,
so. right? They could have, if it was somebody else that would have been like based on a Tom Clancy novel that sold 5 million copies, 3 out of 5. So I don't know.
Okay.
That one's a wild card, but yeah, not present, not clickable. Good for her. Drinking, drugs, and smoking. I do remember some. They were offering Alec Baldwin. That was weird. Did you pick up that they kept offering Alec Baldwin cigarettes and he kept turning them down? Like it was throughout the movie. He's like, no, I give it a 1.
I did see some cigarette. They were smoking some cigarettes, and I don't remember. I don't think there was any drinking.
I think
they didn't show
in that neck-breaking scene, or was that tea? That might have been tea that they were drinking.
Tea. And I don't know, there was a couple other scenes where some guys were drinking something out of a mug, but it didn't show what they were drinking. So give it a 1 for the smoking.
She says 3.
What?
Let's see what she says. Many secondary and minor characters smoke frequently.
Yeah, I did. A lot of the Russian characters were smoking.
Ryan accepts a cigarette as a goodwill gesture, and after a puff, looks ill and coughs. I don't remember that. Do you remember that?
I thought he turned down all the cigarettes.
I always remember him turning them down. Maybe at the end.
I know the Russian at one point when he first got on the bridge of the Red October, the guy in the red offered him a cigarette, but I don't remember him accepting it. So you watched a different version.
Maybe. So yeah, I don't remember that at all. Adults are occasionally seen with drinks that are not identified, but look like alcohol.
You can't do this.
We know that they were drinking a lot of tea.
You can't.
And she's like, I don't know. She's like, it could be alcohol. We don't know if it is or it isn't, but we're going to just assume that it could be. So 3 out of 5.
I don't agree with that in the slightest.
Right. Yeah, I don't either. That was, I agree with your 1.
Because there was some cigarette.
There was some cigarettes, yeah. It was throughout the movie. They could have even given it a 2 based on cigarettes, and I would have been like, that's reasonable, I guess.
Because do you really think they smoke on submarines?
Right? Nuclear submarines, like, is smoking a thing?
No, I can see a rush.
There's no ventilation. How can you...
Yeah. There is ventilation. They do have... How do you breathe?
I mean, maybe there's some, like, high-tech filters involved, but... I don't know. That's crazy.
It was weird because the U.S. sub had they were passed around cigarettes. You'd think the U.S. sub would be more strict. The Russian sub, they were like all of them were smoking. So I guess they're not as strict on that. But go on.
So that was all for the guide. She recommends watching Goldfinger, a thrilling action comedy that may be the best Bond movie.
Disagree.
I don't know. I also disagree. I mean, I think, what was it? It was one of the Daniel Craig movies. Second or the third Daniel Craig movie was the best Bond movie in my opinion. But
Casino Royale or
no
Solace?
No, not Quantum of Solace. I don't think that was it either. It was the other, and not the last one.
He only made 3, didn't he?
I think he made 4. He had Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace.
Those are the only 2 I've seen. I never saw the.
He had the last one, and then there was a 4th one.
Hold on.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to look. Yeah, you'll look it up. You'll tell me what they are.
So
Daniel Craig Bond.
He did Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall,
best
Spectre,
Bond movie.
No Time to Die. I'm so far behind. I've only seen the first 2.
Watch Skyfall.
I never did watch Skyfall.
If you are a Bond fan, and I'm a Bond fan, and you've seen like a lot of the old ones and the new ones, Skyfall is fantastic. So, moving on from Bond.
Okay.
Andrea Beecher says what parents need to know. Parents need to know that The Hunt for Red October is a tense submarine drama based on a Tom Clancy novel. There are a couple of gunfights. Blood is seen 2 or 3 times, although it's not gory, and one character murders by breaking another's neck. Profanity is infrequent, but varied, with the H word half a dozen times, and stronger words, such as the S word or the A word, once each. A minor character mentions whale humping. Okay, there she is again. A line references the Playmate of the Month. It's a good starting point for talking about the Cold War, since the story arises entirely from tense Soviet-American relations, with each regarding the other as the enemy. There you go. One parent gave it a 5 out of 5 for 10 and older. They showed it to their highly advanced 9-year-old, and he loved it. He's now 12 and has seen it over a dozen times.
Loves the submarines.
So that's crazy. It's a good first intense thriller. It's kind of intense. Plot is complicated, but with guidance, can be followed by a tween. There is a bit of gunfire and a few bad words, but nothing excessive. You may want to preview these scenes ahead of time to judge for yourself, but they aren't glorified. Overall, this is fun, clever, and exciting. Yeah. I bet this is their kid. Their name on this thing is Phil isn't my real name.
Oh, it isn't. I was.
That's so. There you go.
So glad.
They said 10 and older for 5 out of 5. 10 and older. I think it's a really good movie, and the PG rating makes sense. I think that both kids and adults would enjoy it. The violence isn't bad or extreme, nor is the amount of language. There you go. I think this is somebody who just found it on Netflix, because they posted this review 7 months ago.
Well, there you go.
And this movie's 32 years old.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about? This movie is 32 years old, sir.
You can tell.
Wow. I'm willing to go one more submarine movie, just to see if this was a fluke, if it was just the pacing I couldn't get into. But I will tell you this: it is my least favorite Sean Connery movie ever.
I can see that. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen's by far one of my favorites.
God, about that movie! Holy cow! That's like I watched that, I think, in theaters when I was in high school or something.
Yep.
And that's
the first time I ever watched it.
It was the only time I've ever watched it.
I've watched it multiple times afterwards.
Oh man, yeah,
through the
I forgot
years.
all about that.
I love that movie.
I've got to find it and watch it again.
Got
to.
So, as the submarine movies go, not many watching options on the streaming services. Like K-19, The Widowmaker, it's on nothing. It doesn't even show a list of what it is on.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go digging. U571 was on HBO. Nothing. Never mind. That one's on. You have to pay to watch it, no matter where you go. And Down's Periscope, I think, was the one on HBO Max.
Nothing.
So.
That free, sir. What are we watching next week?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if you want a sub movie,
I'm not willing to pay for it, sir.
I'm not saying I'm paying for it, but you're gonna have to take an oath, so to speak. I've been looking through the Netflix for something to watch. I've kind of had Skyfall's actually on Netflix, by the way.
It's a movie, best Bond movie ever. That's extremely new, though. I mean, I say extremely new. Yeah.
A lot of stuff I'm seeing is like, ooh, that actually could be a good one. Is like, I know we've kind of said we'd bump into the early 2000s. Everything I'm seeing is like 2010 or newer.
Gosh.
We watched that one. When was it made? I love that movie. would '09 be too new for a movie?
Man,
It's
we
one
do what we want.
it's one I've watched recently. It's on my watch again list on Netflix. Have you ever seen The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yeah, I like that movie. I'm
I
willing to watch it
love
again.
that movie. You want to do that one?
Let's do it. Yeah.
We need to. I think that there's a lot of people out there who've never seen this movie. Might be my favorite George Clooney movie. And it's his most left field movie he's ever made.
Because that's like remote viewing. So, like, we might suck in some paranormal people into that one.
Heck yeah, it's already on my list. I watched it a couple months ago.
Let me add that to my. Are you sure it's on Netflix?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, there it is.
Ewan McGregor. So
Whoa, maybe I haven't seen this movie. Wait a second. I don't recognize that scene. Which makes me think that I haven't seen it.
it's a military movie.
Either way, we're watching it.
Ewan McGregor, and it's got who else? What's that other actor?
George Clooney.
Jeff Bridges. There are a ton of nerd culture references in this movie that might make some people mad.
Oh, snap.
This movie is mind-bending offbeat, is what Netflix. It's so good.
That's funny.
If you wouldn't have said yes to that, I was going to suggest Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, that one's a great one too. I say Men Who Stare at Goats because I'm struggling to. I thought I had seen this, but now I'm struggling. I'm like, maybe I've just heard so much about it. Like
I've talked about it before because I love this movie.
I want to watch, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it just in case I haven't seen it.
Put it in the back of your head. Here's a movie I've never seen that's from '02. 8 Mile.
Oh, 8 Mile's a fantastic movie.
Never seen
sir.
it. Never
I've
seen it.
Multiple times.
Never seen it. I'll put it on my list.
You have. I'm almost if I can hit my golden buzzer to not this week because the Men Who Stare at Goats, but if I can hit my golden buzzer to make that our next week movie,
Hey,
doing it.
it's on my list.
Okay.
And bonus movie I'm going to watch this week because I really need to get back into these movies because I've only watched the first one and I saw that there's like a 4th or 6th movie out now. Have you ever heard? Because I'm not ending this podcast now because it's our podcast.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a movie called Ip Man? IP Man.
Yes.
Have you watched any of them? How many have you watched? You watched all of them?
All of them. They're good.
Okay, I've only watched the first one. I
They're
saw
all
that
good.
there was a new one out, and it doesn't have him in it. It's got a different guy.
I haven't seen that one.
I guess it's like a prequel. It's like when he's younger,
Okay.
and it's got a different guy playing Ip.
Ooh, I've got to watch that then.
I saw it at Walmart on DVD.
I don't like the fact that it's a different guy playing Ip, but
Well, because I think it's a prequel. I think I was reading on the back of it because I see here on the flicks they have 1, 2, 3, and the finale. So,
but there's another one.
yeah, I saw one on, and it didn't have Donnie Yen in it. That's the guy that plays. You know, he actually plays my favorite Star Wars character.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that. Rogue One is one of those. I heard somebody say, and I don't know if you would agree with this, but Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie since the original trilogy.
I would almost agree. I love that movie so much, but I've only seen it once because it's just like going into that movie. If you know anything about the Star Wars, like canon and the backstory, and anything about the first, like, episode 4, you know that all those characters die at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
You know going in that none of these characters live. You're hoping they are, because you get it. Like, I watched the movie and like I was like, no, these guys, halfway through the movie, you're like, no, they can't let these guys die. So Disney won't let them die, and then they all die at the end. It's like, I hate this movie.
And this was the first, like, if I remember right, Carrie Fisher had just passed away, or maybe I don't know, maybe she hadn't yet, but they had like young Carrie, like this was the first Star Wars movie where they used that technology that made that was like hyper realistic, like they did with Luke in
Mandalorian.
Yeah, the Mandalorian. Like, it was just like, that looks like her. Like, holy cow, how did they do this? And it's just like, that was the first time they used that, whatever they call it, that tech. That was just like, wow, that looks like young Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. That's nuts.
Speaking of Disney and Marvel, I haven't seen a date on it yet. Did you know that She-Hulk is going to be a Disney Plus series, not a movie?
Saw that, yeah.
I thought it was a movie.
Yeah,
the way they kept promoting it early on. I keep getting these messages. I think it's emails saying, be on the lookout. No, I keep seeing it on Twitter. But be on the lookout for the new episode of She-Hulk. I'm like, give me a date. Come on, let me know when it's going to be. But yeah, it's going to be a series on Disney Plus. So, kind of excited because that's going to have Bruce Banner in it.
Yep. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Ruffalo's actually making, I guess, quite a few appearances in that one.
Yep.
So, all right. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Feels like we've covered a lot.
Lots happened.
Lots happened. So, we are watching The Men Who Stare at Goats.
The Men Who Stare at Goats.
We're watching it. We have yet to receive a voicemail. I don't know. Travis is going to put our Switch friend codes in the description. I know it. He will this time, for real. This third time's the charm.
Maybe.
That
would require me to remember things.
Yeah, I smell something delicious. Like, I really want to run away and figure out what that smell is. I think my wife got home and is cooking something, and I'm just like, what? Yeah.
I actually need to get off here and go shower.
You need to go, see if you can find a snake in your hole.
That's... I'm going to have to edit that one out.
Oh, goodness. All right. There it is. It's queued up. We're about to bounce. So,
and
peeps,
we are out.
Bye.